I wonder if Biden's a patsy.
No, think about
it.
He wanted. He's been wanting. He wanted to be president.
Right. But think about how he's not there. You know what I mean? And so the Democrats, here's what happens. Donald Trump enacts a bunch of things that work, right? The migrant protection protocols, the policies towards immigration in general.
Right.
Deportations, which brought jobs back to like these chicken plants. The tariffs. Yeah, there's a trade war. There were a lot of problems, but we saw auto manufacturing coming back to Michigan. Things like that. The economy was doing really well. And the Democrats are like, okay, we need to reverse these things. But if we do, people are going to get pissed. And then Joe Biden's sitting in the corner with his tongue hanging out. And they're like, let's make him president for a term. Make him do all this stuff. And you know what they do? They, instead of, wouldn't it be crazy if instead of like him actually being in the White House, they built like a sound stage across the street and just like stuck him in it?
That'd be so weird.
And then have everyone be like, look, he's the president.
Like
now,
a fake White House?
Right.
Yeah, so weird.
And then they start enacting all these policies that destroy the good things Trump did. And then, start wars, botch Afghanistan, punish people who are anti-war, send troops into Syria. Just go at it. COVID's getting, the pandemic is not getting any better. The lockdowns are getting worse. And then it all is absorbed by Joe Biden, who very heroically looks the Democrats in the eyes and says, I can be that hero. The one you deserve, the one you need.
He's definitely taking one for the globalist, I would say. I mean, every single policy, and I don't think they're mistakes. I don't think they're blunders. I don't think there's so much money invested in him. I mean, everything the president does is carefully reviewed by a team of people. He has a whole bunch of PR experts, down to the tie, down to the background. Every little thing is carefully curated to give off a specific image, to give off a specific idea, to manipulate the general public. I don't think a lot of this is by accident. I think they're going to blame a lot of the bull crap that they never had the balls to push through on this senile old man who's not really there. And I don't think Biden's really there. I don't think most presidents really are there, except for some few instances. But for the vast majority of presidents, you could see the same foreign policy. You see the same financial policy. You see the same policies that over and over again predominantly screw over the middle and poor class and only enrich the billionaire corporate class. So it's just been the same thing over again. Just keep replacing him. Just keep blaming all on him. And to me, he's the perfect puppet. It's the perfect situation to rush through, jam through all the bullcrap that no one even dared to put a face behind just a few years ago.
And then they'll run Kamala.
No, she's very unpopular. I mean, Biden's numbers are down. Kamala's were never up. She was never polling high. She never had a favorable rating. Whatever you call it.
Kamala.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
She's comma, whatever.
You're that guy.
You know what I'm trying to say.
All right, so who then?
What do you mean who?
If it's not going to be Biden or Kamala,
I don't think it's going to matter at that point. I think we're at such a stage where
I think we're.
I got an idea. Trump Jr. run as a Democrat.
Yes, perfect.
Perfect plan. It
Perfect
solves all the
fusion.
problems.
Caitlyn Jenner. Because that worked so well. No, Andrew Yang. In the Forward Party.
No.
Is that what he's calling it? The Forward Party?
Yeah, he's selling a book. Don't even, this guy's 15 minutes are up. Screw him.
Is it the War
the
Party?
Forward.
Okay.
Forward,
yeah. Okay, so.
Did he even announce how different he is, his major policy changes? Did he even go into any of that?
No, he's just not left, not right.
But what is he? What
Forward. Great job. It's like an 8-year-old wrote it.
Yeah.
He's okay. Going back to Andrew Yang's not running. He's so uncharismatic. He's never gonna win.
Well, he tried to be mayor of New York City.
Yeah,
he failed
good
with that.
luck with. Yeah, he did so great. He's awful. He's an awful debater. Hey, how about this? Oh, big pandemic, right? Oh, all the robots everything's gonna be automated. Really, everybody's working from home, and then you have all the frontline workers and everybody in retail. They're not being replaced.
Nobody's working.
Well, but they're not being replaced by automation. And behind a lot of that automation are people behind the scenes making food and then shoving it in a hole where you click a keypad and open a door and go, oh, it's magic. That's not how it works. He's not going to, getting back to who's going to run, who can run for president in 2024, because it's
as a Democrat,
it will not be Joe Biden. It cannot be Joe Biden.
Maybe. Who knows? They'll just keep pulling him out.
If it is decrepit now.
Yeah. they'll get like a wheelchair or something and like, here you go.
Good.
Go him out. I mean,
are they going to walk, or are they going to like push him around like Stephen Hawking and just like say, Biden can't talk, so we're going to have this computer talk.
It won't be a big difference from what's happening now.
Look, have you guys seen the Onion article? No. Stress of presidency already ages Biden 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
It's a rotted corpse.
Well, okay, it's not. You're right about Kamala's numbers.
Yeah.
I think they're hovering around like 49%. If she was actually out more, people would just.
She's not. She's hiding.
She's the most amazing border czar ever. You know, like she's not gonna. She's unpopular, but she's also not a genuine person, and she's not charismatic at all. Like there's nothing to her.
She cackles at pain and suffering.
Yeah,
like that's a bad personality trait.
I mean, who doesn't?
Right?
People
are suffering. You murdered children in the Middle East.
No, a journalist was literally like, "Ma'am, human traffickers are abandoning children in rivers. They're dying, and children are being raped." And she goes, "It's like
crazy,
Clinton, man."
Okay, first of all, chat. While I'm pontificating here, who do you think could run in 2024? Not Harris, not Biden, as a Democrat.
I'm looking at the chat right now, so I'll be able to answer that question.
Thank you very much.
They're saying Brandon. Everyone's
nice.
saying Brandon right
now. That's like the greatest thing ever.
Let's go, Brandon.
I'm using that hashtag now.
I love it.
It's amazing.
It's do you see what Scott Adams said? He said a slogan idea for Trump 2024 is presidency is "Let's go, Brandon." It's basically like Trump's slogan being Joe Biden.
It's perfect, and it's more fun to say.
People are saying your mom, Booker.
That's good. Yeah.
Pelosi. Pelosi. I mean,
Dianne Feinstein, maybe.
Tulsi.
She'll be 94,
Tulsi.
right?
Newsom.
These nuts. Hillary. Lots of Brandons.
I think maybe
Andrew Cuomo. AOC. I'm just reading off some of the results here. Xi Jinping.
He's already in the White House.
Tulsi.
Tulsi.
A lot of Brandons. Joe Rogan. Newsom. A lot of people are saying Newsom.
Matthew McConaughey.
Newsom.
Hunter Biden.
Newsom.
Yes.
Some people are saying
Al
Gore.
I don't think Newsom, but I think maybe Garcetti.
Maybe. Newsom reminds me of like a generic movie villain. You know? Like
Kendall.
Like a generic movie villain. Like probably like a sub boss, not the final boss, but like the arrogant guy who ends up, he reminds me of, in Iron Man 3, there's the guy who's always chewing gum. That guy. Like not in their attitudes and the way they behave and the smugness, and it's like he's not the big bad boss, he's just like an underling, but like a big underling,
See, this is, you're right that he's smug. He's definitely a very smug person. And I think that's why a lot of these popular politicians from certain states just can't break outside of the borders of that state. Like say Chris Christie. Chris Christie was kind of popular in New Jersey. He goes out on a national stage and he's a dud. Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor, right? Like this guy was like leadership,
Mr. 9/11,
and then
couldn't stop talking about it.
Exactly. But then he comes out and it's like he's basically just like a know-it-all New Yorker.
People are also saying Michelle Obama and Oprah.
Yeah, but we've already had a black male president already. So
I think Michelle Obama would win. I think she'd
be good.
I think she'd get a massive landslide. I genuinely think so.
I'm going to repeat Bill Burr, but like why? Because she danced on Ellen?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You think I'm kidding? She's Obama 2.0, and she's a woman, and she's going to get all the women are going to vote for her. She's going to get all of the social justice vote. Plus, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, Obama.
I think Oprah, too, also has a big chance because she kind of tested the waters. There were some news articles suggesting that she might run for some kind of office, and they were kind of testing it because pollsters usually do that. They usually kind of put out their candidate saying they might run, and they kind of field to test this. Oprah also had a lot of meetings with Bloomberg, with the Rockefellers, with Mr. Bill Gates when they had their secret meeting in New York City talking about population reduction a few years ago. So she's in the inner circle of a lot of ruling elites. She's in the inner circle of like the the Kissingers, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the Gateses, they all met privately. They all had their secret meetings. Look up the meeting that happened. The media called this the meeting of the superheroes. And this was a meeting that happened in New York City, and they talked about literally population reduction. And this was about 5 to 7 years ago. And a lot of people, forget how involved Oprah actually is in our political spectrum, especially with the money that she donates, especially with the culture
remember
that she
when
pushes.
she was pro-Iraq war?
Yep.
And there was like some guest was like, I just don't think that we should invade Iraq. And then she was like, what?
You believe we should be weak?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Holy freaking cow. I mean, and she's perfect. She knows how to cater to an audience. She knows how to read scripts. She knows how to push the globalist propaganda more than anyone else. She knows how to hold a conversation, how to debate people, how to argue with people. She would be, I'm calling it. Oprah 2024. I would be surprised not to see it at some point, or some kind of level of, because we had Donald Trump. He was a reality TV star. I don't think we're going to go away from this kind of factor of entertainment and societal impact being involved in politics. I think it's only going to increase, as it did in Idiocracy.
But how smart do you think she is on policy?
Intelligence, really. She's
a smart woman, obviously.
Yeah. She's what is she? She's a billionaire. She's a part of the billionaire club, right?
Doesn't make you smart, but it makes you.
Of course, she had the right people around her, but I would say that's smart. So I think she is smart enough, and I think she definitely has the connections. So I think there's something to think about there.
She got the money to self-fund too.
And her running mate would be The Rock. Or somebody like
you saw The Rock support Newsom in the recall election.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Well, he supported Biden too.
Yeah.
He came out. That was a
anything
big
for
deal.
money, man. That's what it's all about.
Lydia, who would if you had to vote between one of these two choices, you had to vote. There's no out.
Oh, The Rock, hands down.
The Rock or Oprah?
I would definitely vote for The Rock, just because I would never vote for a woman.
I wouldn't vote for.
Sorry.
I wouldn't vote for.
Sorry, it's true.
Oh, Lordy.
It's true.
I wouldn't vote for anyone.
Wow, sexist.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. Sorry to disappoint everyone.
I know Luke. Luke would vote for the Rock.
No. I wouldn't. There wouldn't be much difference in any of them. And I would just jump off a building. Jumping off a building.
No, they're it's like Highlander.
I flip a coin because it really won't matter because they'll push the same policies. Mm-hmm. I'll flip a coin.
But who would be more fun to see at certain events and stuff?
Think about it this way. When Oprah is in office, she's going to go, you get a cruise missile and you get a Hellfire Missile. And The Rock is going to be like, who wants a Hellfire Missile? So which one is more fun, I kind of think the Oprah would be more fun because she'd be like, everybody gets Hellfire Missiles.
Everybody gets Medicare.
Oh, imagine this. We should make this. The scene in Iron Man when he does the Jericho and the mountain explodes
What
behind
is this?
him?
You and Iron Man today.
Yeah.
Always, yeah.
So
kidding.
when he does the
Sorry.
Jericho missile and he wipes out the whole mountain behind him in the first movie, we just need Oprah being like, yeah. And that can be her campaign for her presidency. Like, that's the only ad she'll need, and she'll win.
My favorite,
because of the pro-war party.
One of my favorite memes is that where she's doing, like everybody gets the thing, and it's bees.
Yeah.
It's like my
and everyone's screaming and running around.
top 100 favorite things in the internet. That's that's classic stuff.
Goodness.
Let's
My
see if I can pull this
goodness.
one up. Bees.
She's like,
Bees.
Oprah bees.
Oh my goodness.
everybody knows what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness.
But most importantly, I still think we're a very long ways away from 2024. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises, a lot of upheaval, a lot of crazy things to come up before then that will change everything and will change our viewpoint of exactly how we see politics.
Well,
even.
first of all, we're going to have, the big game changer is going to be like COVID-23. That'll be,
I think
the big thing.
The economic
right?
aspect will be more prevalent, to be honest with
We're
you.
going to have a COVID forever. We're going to have like a new COVID every election cycle. It's going to be perfect.
Well, there's no reason
We're
for
playing
it
the
to
bees.
You're
thing
playing
over
the bee thing.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, maybe.
She's like, bees! And the people are crying.
Oh yeah, and the reaction from the crowd. That's what makes that yeah. It's
amazing. Everybody's freaking out.
There's a woman crying.
I would do that than go through another 4 years of Joe Biden.
Honestly,
I'd
same.
like even being
you have a
stung by
choice.
thousands of bees.
You have a choice. You have to open a box full of bees in your bedroom or 4 more years of Joe Biden.
Well, there's also, speaking of bees, there's also and memes. There's also the Nicolas Cage meme where he's got the thing and from the Wicker Man. I think.
Yeah, the Wicker Man.
And he's screwed a bees. Like I would rather do that than go through another 4 years of Joe Biden. Probably, but
the problems the Democrats had in the last cycle too is they don't have anyone. And I think this is the biggest indicator that Democrats and the left are completely not cool.
And see, and the list that Luke was reading, he was saying, Booker, like no, Booker was terrible in the debates, and he's not charismatic either.
The interesting thing is, I don't know if cool is the right word to describe Trump, but there's something.
He has an it factor.
Right. Absolutely.
There's something about him. Like, first of all, he's funny, and we all know that.
True.
Whether you hate his policies, like it's like when he was talking about the definition of what woke is, which I'm not going to repeat here, but that was hilarious. It was so funny. It was so funny when he was saying,
I know the moment he won. It's when Megyn Kelly said, you insulted Rosie O'Donnell. Or no, you called women fat pigs. He goes, only Rosie O'Donnell. And I was like...
And the crowd erupted.
Yeah.
And the crowd was like, ooh.
and
they laughed. All of them laughed. They weren't supposed to.
You have to watch this Shane Gillis thing. I'm telling you, it's really funny. He points out that those debates, the Republican debates, they were electric. Yeah. They were absolute. They were must-see TV.
Yep.
Because there's just something about, like, Gillis points out, he's like, you have like a policy guide, like blah blah blah. I like schools and this and that, and Trump's just like insulting people left and right. And you're just like, yeah, do it, man. It's like, shut up, nerd.
But it's not that it's that anger people felt, where it's like the Republicans don't do anything. They waste everyone's time. They had power in 2016, 17, 18. They did literally nothing. Trump getting in there and insulting them just felt good. He gets in and he gave it was like they hired a guy to go give everybody the middle finger, and they were happy with that. I mean, obviously they were happy. They wanted a lot more. They wanted a lot of what Trump was offering. But I'm saying they were satisfied watching Trump give the middle finger to these people.
And within a couple weeks, like I think even before the first debate, Trump was leading in the polls.
I think so. Yeah.
Right? Like they're like, oh, well, he was really like, no, he wasn't. Like you need to look at the actual, like go to RCP. There was like 1 week where Ben Carson was like leading the polls, and it was by like a fraction, and then he just kind of sputtered out too, in the weirdest housing department pick ever. But he didn't totally flame out, but.
There's no Democrat personalities that have any charisma.
No, none. No, it's definitely not Harris. Definitely not Biden.
But it's because they can't have charisma. Name a Borg unit with charisma. You know what I mean? Like they're none. They're just cookie cutter garbage.
But there are some like well, Bernie's not a Democrat, but there's something about Bernie Sanders. He has a certain charisma, even though it gets old, because it's just the same thing over again. The billionaires and the millionaires, and and you're like you've said in the past, he stopped saying millionaires as soon as he became a millionaire.
He's like he started saying it again. I wonder if his bank account went down. He's like, it's safe to criticize the millionaires again. I'm not a millionaire anymore.
But there's something to Bernie Sanders, and it's the weirdest thing, because I remember working in news and covering 2016, and you're just like you thought it was a joke. Like nobody ever heard of this guy, right? Most people, and you're almost like, well, he's doing it as a public service. He's going in and he's raising some issues. He's saying, hey, we can get free college for people. We can help the middle class. We can do all these things. And you're like, he's going to bring up a couple things. They're going to have 6 debates, and Hillary's going to win. But you have this guy, and he knows he's not going to win. And then it got to his head. Then he's like, oh man, I could win this. I could win it all. And then he lost because, everything's corrupt.
And then he forfeits and bows down and kisses the ring of power of Hillary Clinton.
Look. One of my favorite moments or one of the saddest moments is during the 2016 Democrat convention.
I was there, and I think you were there too.
When he's just he's like this,
They had special noise canceling subwoofers that they brought in to cancel out the Bernie people inside of that stadium.
What?
And another thing to really consider here.
I wanted to comment on that real quick.
Go ahead.
So you're mentioning, Bernie giving it, selling out and all this stuff. And when I look at AOC, and she shifted a whole lot as now this, as she's trying to stay in. They were gonna take away her district. They were going to redistrict and get rid of her. They were going to primary her, and then all of a sudden she started shifting a little bit more. We just saw Pelosi walk up to her and wave her arms in the air on C-SPAN, and then AOC changes her vote on the Iron Dome from.
No. I made a video about this, and if you really have to zoom in on that footage, she ignored AOC. Pelosi ignored AOC. Pelosi, I can't remember the names, but Pelosi was speaking to two other Congress people, having a conversation, and Pelosi does that thing with their hands anyway, right? Then all these people came, like Pramila Jayapal and Debbie Dingell and AOC. They all came to that little area where Pelosi's having this conversation, and AOC's like putting on a show, and she's like putting her hands in her, like she's so sad, and Pelosi's just completely focused, like she's wearing blinders. She's completely focused on these two Congress people. But wait, this is the best part. She looks over for like a second and keeps talking. Like she does this power move. She wasn't reacting to AOC. Right, AOC did not change her vote. I don't know why she changed her vote.
AOC changed her vote. Right. That's what I'm saying. But Pelosi's irrelevant. The fact is, one of the first things that happened with AOC when she got elected was all of a sudden her really strong opinions on Palestine shifted a bit when she was on PBS and says, honestly, I don't know all that much. And she got roasted by the left, who said, we're going to see more of this. AOC certainly is a leftist and a socialist, but she's trying to toe that line so she doesn't lose her district. And Bernie Sanders did the exact same thing. Bernie Sanders, I'll tell you what my opinion of both of these people are. Bernie, he's in a gym with this $20 banner he gets put up for his presidential run, and no one cares. No one's ever cared, but all of a sudden he's getting a groundswell of support. Eventually, he's famous. Very, very quickly, all of a sudden he's feeling it. He's feeling it, that feeling of flying so high. And then Bernie realizes the Democrats aren't going to let him go anywhere with this. They're going to shut him down, and he needs to play ball or he'll lose it all. And so Bernie said, I will play ball. He stopped saying the millionaires. Bernie was standing outside the billionaire's mansion with all of the people behind him yelling with pitchforks. And he's like, I can see in the keyhole. The billionaires and the billionaires are inside. And then they open the window and say, hey, Bernie, we want to come in? Absolutely. And then he comes inside and goes, all of you have to go home or we're calling the cops. That's Bernie Sanders. That's AOC.
Yeah, he's a grifter. He had some personality. He had some charisma, but he totally sold out on many instances.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.